The wind whipped around her. It was bitterly cold. The young girl, Maya, shivered. She was alone. The mountain peak, once a triumphant goal, was now a prison. Panic swelled in her chest, threatening to consume her. How could this have happened? Just hours ago, she had been full of excitement. She was with her brother, hiking up the familiar trail. They had stopped at a clearing for a quick snack. He had wandered off to take pictures. She had closed her eyes just for a moment. Now he was gone. Maya stood, her legs shaky. The vast wilderness stretched out before her. Trees marched down the slopes, their tops swaying in the wind. The sun was beginning its descent, casting long shadows across the mountainside. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through her. She was lost. This was not her first time in the wilderness. Her brother had taught her well. He had showed her how to survive, but now fear threatened to undo everything. She had to focus. She needed a plan, find shelter, find water, find help. The wind howled like a wild animal. It tore at Maya's thin jacket. She pulled it tighter, her heart pounding in her chest. She had to find shelter before nightfall. The temperature was dropping rapidly. Soon it would be dangerously cold. She scanned her surroundings, her eyes searching for any sign of the trail. There had to be a marker, a familiar landmark, anything to guide her. Panic welled up again, making it hard to think. She pushed it down, forcing herself to focus. Panic wouldn't help. She had to stay calm. Taking a deep breath, she started walking. She moved cautiously, her eyes glued to the path. The terrain was treacherous, littered with loose rocks and fallen branches. The setting sun cast an eerie glow on everything, making the shadows seem longer, more menacing. Each step away from the peak filled her with a growing sense of dread. The trail remained elusive. Doubt gnawed at her. What if she couldn't find her way back? What if no one found her? The thought sent a shiver down her spine. The sun dipped below the horizon. Twilight descended, casting a purple hue over the landscape. Maya stumbled through the undergrowth, her throat parched and scratchy. Thirst, like a gnawing beast, had taken hold. She had been walking for hours, it seemed, but time had become meaningless. Her only focus was finding water. She knew that dehydration was a serious threat. Especially in this cold, she had to find a source, and soon. She remembered her brother's words. "Follow the lay of the land, Maya. Water always flows downhill." He had taught her how to spot the signs. The slight dip in the terrain, the lusher vegetation. Hope flickered within her. Following a gentle slope, she pushed aside a curtain of ferns. Relief washed over her. There, nestled between two moss-covered rocks, was a small spring. The water, crystal clear, bubbled up from the earth. It was the most beautiful sight she had ever seen. Night had fallen, the forest was alive with sounds, the rustling of leaves, the hooting of an owl. Maya huddled beneath a rocky overhang, her stomach growling. Hunger, a dull ache, added to her misery. She knew she needed to eat. Survival depended on it, but finding food in the darkness was a daunting task. Her brother had taught her about edible plants, but identifying them in the dark seemed impossible. Cautiously, she ventured out from her shelter. The moon, a sliver in the sky, offered little light. She moved slowly, her hands brushing against damp leaves and prickly bushes. Then she saw them, a cluster of wild berries, their dark forms barely visible against the forest floor. She recognized them instantly. Blackberries. Her brother had warned her about poisonous berries, but these, she knew, were safe. Relief and gratitude flooded her. They weren't much, but they were food. And right now, that was all that mattered.